Hi everyone, this is the 30th episode. It's been 4 weeks now, so a little inconsistent. I've been I've been going through a rough time, I won't lie. That's why I've been a little absent. I'm working on it. That's why you're kind of in my face today. I'm working on the public speaking thing. I'm kind of hindering behind a fence right now. I see a fun group of college kids on a Jeep. Seems like they're having fun. I've been watching a lot of Ryan Trahan. He's doing the 50 states in 50 days on YouTube to donate money to St. Jude. It's super cool. But it becomes really real when I tell myself, oh no, I can never do that. I'll embarrass myself. Or no one in my state is a big YouTuber. No one embarrasses. It's different in Portland. I always give myself an excuse. And then he came to Portland. I'm like, damn. And he sets up his tripod in the middle of restaurants, and I'm like, damn, how does he do that? How does he do that? Yeah. Maybe I won't get into it quite yet, but I got my car broken into. That was a little bit distressing. I woke up and my trunk was open. I was like, oh god. They left my podcast stuff though. They left the chairs and the mics. It's starting to look like it was a little bit planned though, because they stole my work stuff and they didn't steal anything else. And now work is like, oh, you just wanted a new laptop. No, I'm just kidding. They're not doing that. But it looks like that. It looks like I wanted a new laptop and backpack and all my work stuff, because that's all they stole. Yeah, kind of the theme for me, the lesson for me, is that it's really not that deep. Recently, it's really not. I sound like a preacher right now. It's really not. No, hear what I have to say. Listen, it's really not that deep. Some people get so stressed out about small things, and just because it's a great analogy, Daniel and I were talking about he told me about a thing called the worry box theory, and that's when someone has like an imaginary worry box, and when they don't find themselves to find anything to be worried about, they want to fill the box with something. So they stress themselves out and worry themselves out. And I know plenty of people like this that are fully grown adults, like more than not, they're adults. They're not usually teens or adolescents or whatever you want to say, but they're usually older people that you think would be over that kind of thing. And sometimes I meet people, friends, family, whoever, and I just want to shake them. And I'm going to preface by saying I do want to say this about myself too, but sometimes I just want to shake them and say, dude, there's nothing to be worried about. Your life is so good. I'm definitely going to mute that. There's a Infinity driving by and it sounds like, hoping he just leaves and he's not here to take photos. Also, if you hear geese in the background, I'm sorry. This one single geese back there is making noise and the rest are staring at me. It's not as stressful as you think it is. And when you are stressed about something or you're angry about something and you act out or you speak out, you are kind of just, your reaction is creating the tension. And isn't this background gorgeous? I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try to tilt my phone a little more. But you're just creating the tension in your head because sorry. I'm trying to work on being more literate. The problem is not as big as your reaction, because like 90% of things that you do are dependent on your reaction. And what happens next is dependent on your reaction. Sorry, it looks like I'm pregnant. I have the mics in my stomach. Yeah, sorry. I'm mad distracted. There's more people down here than there usually is. It's depending on your reaction, and I struggle with this a lot. I struggle with being angry at things and being sad about things, sulking about things, taking my anger out on people in my head, and finding things I don't like about people so I can validate my reason to be angry towards them. And I'll give an example. I'm not going to dox him completely, but one of my close friends, Evan, I'm not like trying to push too much, but he was like, I know he didn't mean it this way, but he was like, I was like, hey man, I miss you. I want to hang out with you. He was like, I miss you too, but if you miss me, or he's like, if you miss me enough, we'd hang out. And he wasn't like angry. He definitely wasn't angry about it. He was just kind of trying to make a joke. And I'm still like this. I see that in myself, and I'm like, dang, dude. Hearing that from someone else, it's like, hearing that from someone else is totally different. Because now I have more context. I'm like, wow, that's how I sound. And it's, I don't know. Evan's a good kid. I'm probably going to see him as soon as he comes in town. But if you're listening, I appreciate you. Just because we don't hang out doesn't mean you don't have to give me a view on the podcast. Yeah, this is a big step for me. So, yeah, it's never that deep, and I'm just gonna make it quick. I don't want to like give a lot of context because I don't like saying names and I don't like making light of the situation. But one of my close friends is not talking to me anymore, and it kind of blindsided me, and I still don't know why. And some advice I gave a couple weeks ago, which I've seen, I forgot what movie it was, but he said, one day you're going to have to wake up and face the music. Because if someone's treating you shitty and you don't know what to say to them, too nervous, or you're treating someone, say I was in my friend's perspective, devil's advocate, and they were treating me bad, and I was so quiet, I didn't want to speak to them, I was angry. One day, you're going to have to face it, because you're either going to have this awkward tension forever, or you're going to speak up, or you're going to quit the job. So either way, you're kind of facing the music. But just keeping the silence is just, it only lasts for so long. And if he were to, if I were to not keep the silence, or keep the silence and then quit the job, so it's just someone at work, that's why I say quit the job, and then I wouldn't have to talk to this person, and I just left and given them no context. Eventually it's going to cycle around. Maybe you see him randomly in person a couple years later. Maybe karma gets you. But there's just, you gotta face the music. And also I will say it's better to face the music. Because sometimes people get away with their own actions. They never have to deal with their consequences. But a friend came to me and was like, man, this keeps happening. This person keeps attacking me, or they keep saying this about me, or saying they want to. And I'm like, you have to face the music. You have to go up to them, be an adult, take all that heart racing anxiety, be like, hey, is there something wrong? Is there anything that I can fix? And in this case, this friend hadn't talked to me in 3 weeks, still has not, by the way, given context. I was sitting there and I was rethinking it in my head like 5 or 6 times. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to say this. But he goes, I go, is there something wrong between us? Is there something I can do? Because the last thing I ever want to do is make you upset. He just shakes his head. And still haven't talked to him. So I did my part. I've reached out to him. I've said hi to him. I've done what I can. And it is what it is. I hate that saying because Daniel will say that to me all the time. He goes, "It is what it is," and he'll just keep moving on. But you got to face the music. You really do. And I don't remember where I heard that from, but that's one of my favorite things now. Sometimes you gotta face the music. Eventually you gotta wake up and I don't remember. I'll look it up. Man, I wish I was funny. I wish I could find funny things to talk about and not something sad. Yeah, sometimes you gotta wake up, face the music. You know, it's getting better. I'm seeing the silver lining in things. I'm seeing the positivity. I do feel like a kid with his headphones on, stimming in the corner while his parents were screaming. The one that's just shaking, just sitting in a ball, shaking with his headphones on. But it's getting better, you know, and life isn't linear. It'll never just be this, or just this, or just this. You have to ride the slope. So, not a whole lot to say this week. Just want to let you know how I've been. For people that miss talking to me over their AirPods while they're listening to the podcast, yeah, I can hear you when you talk back, by the way. Oh, my best friend got a car, Caden. I don't know if you watched the previous episodes, like the first 7. Caden got a car, one of my dream cars, and also his dream cars. It's an E92 M3. If you know what that is, you're cool. If you're not, look it up. They're pretty cool. Put a photo right here. Actually, I don't know if I have a photo, so that'll be funny if I don't. But yeah, dude, this is still crazy for me. I still don't like filming myself because I'm like, okay, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna come up and say something to me? Is people in the van watching me? Are these girls on the Jeep gonna say something to me? Why'd you park so close to my car? Did you see that the government's begging for money? They're literally shaking their can. I saw an article today that they're accepting Venmo and Cash App to not default on the $36 trillion of debt, which is so funny because they feel so comfortable taking money out of my check, and then when I buy stuff, and then when I sell stuff, and then when I make money, come on, and my insurance, come on. It's not like you're taking money out of one spot. You're taking money out of 10 spots. I didn't see you on the clock with me. I didn't see you work those 40 hours. All right, I'm gonna end it there. Said I wouldn't use filler words. Also, I don't even know if I'm recording because my phone was almost dead when I started this. I'm gonna try to dip out. I'm gonna try to eat dinner. It's like 10 o'clock, or 9 o'clock. Sorry.